What's up, guys? We just got back from the 2023 King of Hammers Desert Race. We actually DNF'd this race, kind of an unlucky thing. A power steering line broke out in the middle of the desert, so we were kind of screwed. But that's not the point of this. The point of this is to show you guys the behind the scenes of how to prep a trophy truck. Got the idea from the Eisenhower brothers, really like the series they've been doing, and just thought it'd be cool to show our experience. So we're going to do a pretty big prep on the truck this time. The truck just got back from King of Hammers, so it's pretty dirty right now. We're not going to do an insane amount of prep. We've definitely done a lot more, but we're going to basically tear all the suspension off and rebuild all that. Brand new uniballs, all that type of stuff. We're going to take down the steering because it took a pretty hard hit to break the power steering line. But nothing too crazy. We're just going to, do the usual prep. Just make sure the truck's all ready to go. We're not exactly sure what the next race is, so we don't have a deadline to make. With my baseball schedule and 4-H, it's just hard to, commit to a race this early. But we're definitely going to get to work and figure out what we need to do. This is nothing different than we usually do, so we're going to get at it, and just start cleaning. That'll be the first thing, and yeah. Alright, so we just got in the shop, and we're just, cleaning it up. That's usually the first step, what we do every prep, so we just kind of tear it down, take all the panels off, take all the body off, obviously, and then just get all the accessories off, you got to get all the fire extinguishers off, seat belts, seats, all that type of stuff. Clean all that. You go to a race with a clean looking truck and they just feel a lot better. So we're doing that. John's getting the wheels off right now. He's gonna take both sides off and then he's gonna put them on the jack stands so we can start working on the front end. We're gonna do a lot of front end work on this one, so gonna make sure that's all fresh for the next race. Still don't know what the next race is, but we'll figure that out. Alright, now so we got the truck on jack stands. We're going to start tearing into the front end first. We blew a power steering line off a fitting during the race. So the front end's pretty oily, which is kind of the worst part of racing, is cleaning after the race. So we got a lot of that to do. And it's not fun, but you got to do it and make a truck look nice for the next one. So we're going to start tearing into that. What's the plan for the front end so far, Dad? What do you think?
We got to take all the A-arms off. We got to check all the bushings. Might have to do some weld washers. We got a couple that might be kind of wallowing out on us. Go through the shocks. Got to go through all the steering because we kind of compromised it when we broke that line. Had to drive it in with no power steering fluid in the pump because the line was broken. We couldn't fix it out there, so we had to drive it a little ways.
And if you guys didn't know, in a trophy truck with 40-inch tires, that steering with no power steering is basically nothing. So Matthew Phillips jumped in because he's definitely a lot stronger than me, and it took a lot of time to get there because it's pretty hard to do. So it kind of sucks that steering brakes is probably one of the worst things to break just because it's so hard to get somewhere after that. So we just started cleaning. That's gonna take hours to clean, but first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna dig into the hubs. I felt like on the big infill jump a couple times at the front, felt like it had like a little wobble to it. And I couldn't feel it out in the desert, but it was like in the air you could feel like it felt like every rotation it would feel like this weird spot in it. So we're gonna take the hubs apart and check all the bearings, check the crush washer, make sure that's all good. But we're not really sure yet what it could be, and hopefully it's nothing too serious, but we'll see what happens. Alright, so we got a bunch of work done on the truck. We've just kind of been pecking away at random things. As you can see, we've got all the suspension off. So every time after a long race, we'll pull the suspension off, check that, get it all magged. Thanks to Mark Cowan, he takes it all and he just checks all it. Mags it, make sure there's no cracks in it, so that next race we can be 100% sure that the truck's in great condition. So pull all that off, kind of spot paint all the chassis where we can, steel it coated. Again, just lots of cleaning. We think we're going to pull off the front shocks. We're going to paint those too. Not at least the bypasses, not the coilover, obviously, but same for the rear. We got the rear trailing arms off. Those are getting magged right now as well. A lot of new rod ends, new heims, new uniballs, kind of just the normal after a long race. And yeah, so we got all the steering off. That's all getting rebuilt right now. Once that gets back, we'll put it all together. Actually, what we're going to do is we're going to put on our spare parts, get the truck cut together, go run it, do some testing on some new gears, come back, and we'll put on the good steering parts, and then we'll go out again with a different setup, and we're going to try to test another new gear setup and just see which one's faster. I mean, that's really the only way to get faster in racing. You just R&D. So, you know, you go out, do a nice little 5-mile run, test it, time yourself with that gear setup, I guess. And it just depends on what you're going for. If we're doing a qualifying thing, we'll run one gear, we'll come back to the house, change up what we want to do, come back again, test it, find out what time it is, and if it's faster, then we just run with that. So it kind of depends on what race, depends on what you're going for. But ultimately, that's usually what we try to strive for. We like to, you know, try something different every race. Once we find that, you know, perfect setup, we'll just start running that all the time. But for right now, we're still trying a bunch of stuff. And, yeah, so it's a lot of fun. We just got the radio out. As you can see, it's kind of a mess in here. But we got the radio out. It was having a little bit of problems. So we're going to get that checked out. And then we're going to put it in the pre-runner. And then Matthew Phillips, my co-writer, says that he's going to get me a new Kenwood radio for the truck. So, and that we're going to get a nice bigger radio for the truck, make sure that works better. We've had good luck with it, but, you know, it's always good to try to improve stuff. So, yeah, we're just pecking away. The pre-runner actually should be back next week, so that'll be probably in the update videos pretty soon here, so that'll be pretty cool. And, yeah. I just want to talk about one more little thing. Another thing we do between each race, sometimes you can do it on the car, but we like to steel it coat all the suspension. It just leaves a nice finish, you know, makes the parts look new. You know, these arms probably got maybe 8,000 miles on them, but they got, I mean, look at those. Does those look used to you? Nah. So, yeah, we like to make everything kind of look clean. You know, when you go to the race with a dirty truck, you don't really feel like the truck was prepped that well. Even if it was, you know, if the truck's looking clean like a show truck, you just feel better about yourself. You have more confidence in the truck. At least that's my opinion. I don't know about any other drivers. But, yeah, so we do our best, you know, make sure the truck look clean every race. Takes a lot of hours, and we're definitely not there yet on this prep yet, but it'll get there. It all seems to come together all in the end. So we're going to keep working on the truck and give you guys some more updates. Alright guys, so we're back in the shop. Got a bunch of stuff done on the truck, and as you can see here, we got the truggy back. So my dad and Tim Lawrence actually went out there. I had a baseball game, so I couldn't go, but they went out and tested with it a little bit. Just a couple little minor stuff to work through. It's just basically a brand new car at this point, so you know, it's kind of just getting all the little gremlins out, and so we're working on that. But on the truck, we actually came across a little weird problem we've never had. We checked all the pivots, and they were kind of walled out a little bit. So we grinded off all the old weld washers, and we're welding on a new set. It's mainly just the front suspension. The back seems to be fine. But yeah, as you can see there, we got someone coming tomorrow to come TIG weld them. We do not have a TIG welder on hand. We'll hope to in the future. I kind of want to get into TIG welding. It's also a good trade to know. You maybe make some money off it one day. And yeah, so we got all the suspension back. All of it got magged. A couple tiny little cracks, nothing terrible. The trailer arms haven't gotten back yet, but I'm sure those will be okay. Yeah, no, we're just working on the truggy right here. So what'd you kind of find out during testing, Dad?
Just gotta tune the motor a little bit more. No, everything was good. I mean, just kind of, you know, a little fine tuning on the suspension, and just trying to get this motor to run good. We got all new electronics on it and everything, and we're just trying to get the gremlins out of it.
For sure, you know, I mean, it's not a brand new motor. We bought a used LS2, but you know, it's basically new to the car, so we just have to make sure everything's perfect. A lot of tuning, you know, just making sure everything's reliable. You know, we don't want to go out there and ruin a pre-run because we lost the whole day because we were out stuck in the middle of the desert. So hopefully we can get all that figured out in the next like week or two, and then we'll have a pre-runner for as long as we could ask for. So we're super pumped about that. Other stuff on the truck, our new radio should be in pretty soon here. We'll get that installed. It's kind of a mess right now, but all of that's down, waiting for it to get a new radio. We also got all the cables to be able to run a GoPro with the inboard audio, and not only is it cool for the videos that you guys get to see on this channel, but it's pretty cool. Like if you go pre-run, let's say a race like Laughlin, you could record your pre-runner video and you know, get back into the hotel and just watch it over and over, and you can actually hear, not just watch the video and try to memorize it, but you can actually hear your co-writer talking to you, telling you, you know, what do you think we should do here? This should be a slight right, this should be a hard right, this is a rock to the right, rock on the left. So overall, we're super pumped to, you know, start trying that and see how that helps us with finding lines, making little shortcuts, and all we can do to win. So, yep, that's about it for right here, and we'll catch you guys another day. Alright, another day in the shop, another little quick update for you. As you can see here, we've got the top A-arms on. We just had the bottom A-arms on because we were just test fitting something real quick. But as you can tell right here, we got some weld washers on there. We kind of found out that our pivots were wallowing out a little bit. You know, it's not surprising. This truck has a lot of miles on it since it's been built, so it's kind of due for something like that. So we grinded off the old weld washers, put on some new ones, and now it's good to go. So we got the steering all on there, and we're gonna start throwing the front suspension together. We got the rear trailing arms back painted, welded up, all the little cracks are fixed, so we're gonna slap those back on too. And yeah, a lot of progress going on here. As you can see here, we got the truggy. We're just working out a couple gremlins in it. You know, it's basically a brand new car, so there's just a bunch of little things to get worked out on it. So we're experimenting with a bunch of stuff right now, trying to figure out what the problem is with the motor. We've tried kind of everything, and we haven't found anything yet. So we're just gonna keep trying more stuff and see what we can figure out. What are you doing down there, Dad?
Bolting up the steering rack.
Bolting up the steering rack? Cool, cool. Well, I'm gonna get to start working on a little project for the truggy. Actually, I'll show you guys that. The plan for the truggy one day is to have a windshield in it. So we actually have one, we just have to get it installed. But see right here, I got a cardboard cutout. This fits perfectly right into there. So I'm gonna make some plexiglass cutouts and weld 3 little tabs on and close off that little section. And then this section I'll probably just get like a window net or something. And that'll probably block enough air so that the dirt isn't, you know, just circling in the cab. It's kind of pretty closed off back here with the radiator, so there's not really much for the airflow to go, you know. So that'll be cool. It'll be pretty cool, you know, just to have a windshield when you're out there pre-running, just be a little bit more comfortable. Maybe just be able to wear a headset out there, make pre-running really nice. So yeah, we're just pecking away at some projects here, and that's about it. Another quick thing I forgot to talk about. One of the things we do at the race truck every time we prep it is we take an oil sample and we send it off to, it could be, you know, Lucas Oil, different ones like that, that check all the, make sure just there's no motor, you do it for the motor oil, transmission oil, make sure you got no grinding in there. You know, the truck has about 1,300 miles, I think we said, on the motor, somewhere around there. I could be wrong. And so we sent off an oil sample to see how the motor is looking right now. We haven't got the results back, but what's that done for you in the future, Dad? Or in the past?
It just kind of tells you where you're at on the motor. You know, we haven't had any bad results yet. So yeah, I mean, it could just tell you that, you know, you're losing a rod bearing or something. It'll tell you the specific metals that are in the oil and stuff like that, and it's just good insurance to know. You know, you don't want to go out and race on a motor that's already starting to have some issues, because you're probably going to grenade it at that point. And
yeah, I mean, that's super cheap insurance, because you spend a lot of money getting to these races, and the last thing you want is to go blow a motor up. If you would have just checked before, you might have already known that the motor was going bad. So we blew a motor up last year in Parker, and since then we've been more careful with that type of stuff. And not saying that that was our fault that it blew up without checking it, but it could have been. You never know. So, well, that's about it. Alright, well, little change of plans here. I didn't tell you guys, but we had to pull the motor. We took an oil sample of the motor, and it came back with a lot of lead in it. So obviously something in there internally is going bad. So we had to pull that. Matthew came over, me and my dad and him. We just pulled it out right now in a couple hours, and figured out some little tricks for the next time we have to do it too. So got that going. Next thing else is we got the truggy motors getting pulled out too. They went testing with it, and again they found something a little weird in it, so we're gonna pull it out and check that too. Hopefully that one's not too bad. Race truck will probably we're gonna take it to Danzio, and they're gonna get it back to us in a couple weeks, and head out to the Legacy race. So can't wait to go test with that, see how that does. We've never really had a rebuilt motor. It's kind of a new thing that they're allowing with all the different changes with the LS3. So it'll be cool to see how much longer maybe a rebuilt motor will last. A lot of times with a rebuilt motor they can make everything, all the torques and all that perfect, unlike straight from the manufacturer. So we're super pumped to see what that'll do, and yeah.
I guess.
So as you guys can see, Matthew has no fucking clue what he's doing.
Bring me the biggest crescent wrench and hammer you could find.
I'm doing well. I'm just trying to figure it out.
How long and a winch?
A winch?
A winch. And
I should just act pissed and
a
fuck this shit. I'm out of here.
Walmart gift certificate.
Alright, so back in the shop again. It's been a couple days since the last time I gave an update, but as you guys can tell, we've gotten some work done. Got the trailing irons back, just ready to put those in on the chassis part. They're already bolted in on the axle. As you can see, we got the front end all bolted up. Nothing's all tight yet. Still got to tighten all the nuts on and get Loctite and the cross check on them, make sure they stay tight during the race. Other than that though, the motor's still at Danzio. It's only been about a week, so a couple more weeks and we'll get that back. Just kind of cleaning up everything right now. It's kind of a mess in there, but it is what it is. That's part of racing. You got to do a lot of prep, and sometimes it's not the cleanest work. Still waiting on a new not GPS, a new radio. And then we'll get the cab all buttoned up. I don't know if you guys have seen, but the new Garmin GPS just came out, and it's really cool because it gives like a 3D layout of the land. So, you know, sometimes when you're pre-running, it's really hard to tell, like, you know, there's two lines, you want to take the right one or the left one, but the left one's up a hill, and you don't really know what's over there, and you don't really want to try to take your pre-runner through it. Well, it's nice with the Garmin because it gives you like an imagery of the land, and you kind of just look at that before you do it and make sure you're going to be okay. So Matthew's going to be taking the PCI course in a couple days and get all that figured out. He's got his new toy, so he wants to practice with it and find all the little tricks to it to make our lives easier out there in the desert. So we're super pumped about that and can't wait to see what it does. I mean, we've had great luck with lead nav, but it's always good to just try to improve. You know, as technology improves, you guys gotta, you know, just keep along with it. So, what you up to, Dad?
I'm trying to put an oil line on back here, but I need your help.
Well, I'm gonna put the camera down then and help him. Back to what I was saying. So, update on the Truggy as well. Motor got pulled out. Found out that it threw a rod bearing, so got to get a short block for it, and that should be here in a couple days, hopefully. And then we're gonna take it up to San Diego to a place, and they're gonna get it all running for us in a couple weeks. So hopefully we get that back, get it all buttoned up, and get out there and try to test this thing and find something else wrong with it, I guess.